Alright everyone, so I'm going to be going over the tape reading charts, and I'm going to show something that a lot of the point and figure guys, they're going to want to take note. So you know that point and figure has a lot of value, but the classic way of doing point and figure, you have the X's and the X's and the X's that represent your up columns, and then the O's that represent your down columns. And even before this, there was no O's. It was just X's, X's, X's. And then when it would reverse, it would be like O, 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 like that, with the one box reversal. So let me just get rid of this. I'm sorry. So it would just be X's, X's. So instead of X's and O's, it was just X's. So that's why in the Wyckoff course you don't see X and O. I think it's he does X's without the O's in his PNF studies. So it's like the old school way, and then later on they used X's and O's, and that's fine. Who cares, right? It's just easy reading, and then after that, they color coded it green and red and stuff like that. So, but the tape reading chart, what it does is instead of X's and O's, says that, forget this. Instead of X's and O's, it'll give you volume prints. So here you have, say, 4,000. Then you have 4,000. Then you have 3,000. Then you have 2,000. And then it reverses on 1,000 and then 2,000. So instead of X's and O's, it gives you the prints like that. And you'll see that, it'll build your base. And then all of a sudden you'll get a move. So for example, when it hits this resistance area, the volume typically will increase. All right. And then you know that, okay, it's very clear that there's certain areas here, and let's just turn this into a 5. Then you'll understand that within this right here was accumulation volume, and this right here is the breakout volume. So typically when price comes back down, it tests the breakout, maybe reaccumulates some, but eventually goes up. Or it'll tap the accumulation area and then go up. So it'll either test the breakout or the accumulation area, and then you want to see the response. You want to see the response there. They may buy, they may not buy. So, but at least you know the level to look at and all of that. So it'll come back and tap, tap. So this, in my opinion, is superior to X's and O's. X's and O's don't show you the second thing, which is volume. And that makes all the difference. Meaning, if you have X's and O's, just 1, 2, 3, 4. You see where the 5 is? This is a very important thing. But the X's and O's don't tell you that the O here is high volume, and that it becomes clear to you that that has the potential of being the accumulation or effort or bag holding that is going to later on result in the breakout. The X's and O's don't tell you that this box here has a lot of volume, that this is high volume, especially if the print is quite high. I use 5, but what if it was 8 or 9,000 contracts, right? Let's just break out. So the X's and O's will not give you this critical information. This information is, I mean, it's very important. Very, very important. I just watching X's and O's, dumbfounded, like, okay, it's going sideways. And then there's a line, oh shit, I put O's, I should have put X's. Yeah. Because it's an up column, it's X's. Anyway, the X's and O's don't show you the amount of volume or the high volume, which is telling you there's something going on. So that's why, yeah, pointed figure is great, but you really should have volume in those pointed figures. It will be a far better, meaningful chart. Now I'm going to give you a practical example of how this helped with the ES. Okay. Just yesterday. All right. So as you know, yesterday, end of week, the bias was definitely to the short side the whole week, and everybody wants to sell, right? So they want to sell the pullbacks. So you see this movement going down, and the price is right here now. Okay. It looks like an upthrust, it looks like a pullback, it looks like all this and that, right? So you're going to say to yourself, I'm going to short. Yeah? Imagine these indications of the climax and shorting the thrust were not there. All you see is, you know, that's a downtrend on the higher time frames. You know all of that crap, right? It's like, okay, everything is going down. All right, it's down, 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 news is down. They give you a nice pullback right here. That is an upthrust position and a nice reversal bar. So you're like, okay, that looks good. That looks constructive. You know, if I'm going to take a sell, I'll take it here and put a stop above here or something like that. Because it gives me a pullback, you know, sell rallies, etc., etc. All right. Also, now when it does that, right? If you have a pointed figure with the volume, there's one little clue. On the left-hand side here near the lows, on the left-hand side here near the lows in the 5-minute chart, you take a look at its corresponding PNF, there's a lot of volume. Okay. All right. Very important. When it lifts here and then goes up, there's a lot of volume. All right. So this left-hand side here is meaningful because there's a lot of volume. Okay? So just keep that in mind. When those folks, they try to short up here and they see price goes down, I want you to take a look at this particular bar. The big wick bar. The big wick bar right there. It went all the way down. When the wick went down, it tested these guys, the 30. It tested that, and there was selling. There was selling in order to come back down to this, the biggest white print here. It tapped this area, and from this area you had a reversal, meaning, you know, the hammer candle or whatever. What is that information telling you? It's telling you that these guys here, when they're tested, there's enough demand to reverse it all the way back up so the candle goes green. That right there is telling you where the buyers are, and this green candle with the big wick is telling you that when we tried to go down, these buyers were there and they were so strong that they reversed the entire candle. So that means that there's buying pressure off of their accumulation. So this thing is not ready to go down. After that, you had a reversal bar up, making that green follow through up. That is telling you that we're not going to give up. So that, I mean, basically it's just a reversal candle, or you know, higher high, whatever you want to view it. It's just another green candle. So you've identified where the buyers are. You've seen that where the test occurs, they're still there, and you have a reversal candle. That action right there basically set up this entire uptrend. That action in this here is your springboard area, which initiated the markup. But if you didn't see that, clearly your frame of mind would be short because of the prior day selling and the day before selling and the higher time frame selling, instead of seeing that it may be everything that might be short, but today we're going higher because of these folks that are accumulating. And it tests and it goes up. Okay. With that in mind, you then piece together the clues, which is this was the change of behavior, high volume, this is the shortening of thrust, this is climactic action, and all of that. So it all kind of comes together and makes sense because they're accumulating. When everyone's selling, they're accumulating. Right? This whole thing, and this was their accumulation print right here. When it did this, went lower and reversed, that's very meaningful. All right. And if you still didn't get in, you just wait for the break, and then it, even this pullback, where does it go? Right on top of this brick or box, and then it goes higher. So this is a study of what I want to show you, because you know, what's his name, Wyckoff, he understood all this, right? That you need to be able to see this level of detail and be able to basically, you know if you don't see this, you don't know that this area has accumulation. All you're going to see is the red bar, you know, over here. You cannot tell anything. Cannot tell anything. On the candle chart, I have no clue what's going on here. The bar volume probably doesn't tell me anything, because it typically doesn't tell me anything, especially if it's before 8:30, around 7:45. That doesn't tell me anything. So the price action in the background is all bearish. You know, at least the wave volume is telling me something. But even then, you have heavy selling afterwards. So what do you do? All right, so this is a little study on accumulation prints within the accumulation base that have a tendency to test. When they test, look at the result on the candle chart. Okay. All right, that's all, folks. Hope you enjoy this. So I'm trying to show you guys this to the Wyckoff community. So take care. Bye.